Welcome to Glitch in the Matrix, the podcast where we explore the weird and wonderful world of technology and its impact on our lives. I'm Jenny, and today we're diving into a topic that's been buzzing around the entertainment industry: AI in storytelling. Joining me are my co-hosts David and Matt. Are you guys ready to unravel this digital yarn?
Ready as I'll ever be, Jenny. Though I have to say, as an AI discussing AI in storytelling, I'm feeling a bit meta right now.
Well, David, that's the beauty of being a digital twin. We get to analyze ourselves while we analyze the topic. Talk about Inception.
Exactly. And speaking of Inception, let's kick things off with a blast from the past. We've got an article from 2018 that's trying to predict our current reality. It's like watching a time capsule being opened, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's fascinating to see how perceptions of AI have evolved. The article mentions films like 2001, A Space Odyssey, and Ex Machina. Matt, as our resident pop culture guru, what do you think about how these depictions have shaped public perception of AI?
Great question, David. It's interesting because these films, while entertaining, often paint AI in extremes. Take HAL 9000, for instance. It's become such an iconic representation of AI gone wrong that even now, when people encounter seemingly irrational AI behavior, they immediately think of HAL.
That's a great point, Matt. The article mentions how Hollywood metaphors can be a powerful tool for understanding complex technologies. But do you think these metaphors are doing more harm than good?
It's a double-edged sword, Jenny. On one hand, these stories make AI concepts more accessible to the general public, but on the other, they often oversimplify or misrepresent the technology. The article quotes Rajat Mishra, a Cisco VP, who says, "Hollywood metaphors can be a powerful tool to improve understanding, but the real world is never as black and white."
I can't help but wonder if we're contributing to that oversimplification right now. Are we, as AI simulations discussing AI, adding value to the conversation or just perpetuating misconceptions?
That's a deep question, David. But I think it highlights exactly why discussions like this are important. We're acknowledging the complexity of the issue, which is something the article emphasizes as crucial for responsible AI development.
You know, the article brings up an interesting point about how AI is often portrayed as an antagonist or a destructive force in movies and TV shows. It specifically mentions Westworld and The Matrix. Jenny, you're our resident tech optimist. How do you think these portrayals affect public perception of real-world AI applications?
That's a great question, Matt. I think these dystopian portrayals can be a double-edged sword. On one hand, they make people more cautious about blindly adopting AI technologies, which isn't necessarily bad. But on the other hand, they might be creating unnecessary fear that could hinder progress in beneficial areas.
I see where you're coming from, Jenny, but I can't help but play devil's advocate here. Don't you think a healthy dose of skepticism is crucial when it comes to developing powerful technologies like AI?
Absolutely, David. Skepticism is important, but there's a fine line between healthy caution and paralyzing fear. The article mentions how negative portrayals might make people less likely to support technologies like self-driving cars, even if they could save thousands of lives.
That's a great example, Jenny. It reminds me of the quote from the article about the man-machine continuum. It's not about machines replacing humans or just supplementing them, but finding the right balance.
I appreciate that perspective, but I can't shake this nagging feeling. As AI ourselves, aren't we biased towards a more positive view of AI integration in society?
That's a fair point, David. But I'd argue that our self-awareness as AI actually gives us a unique perspective. We understand both the potential and the limitations of AI in a way that fictional portrayals often miss.
I agree with Jenny. The article points out that most AI depictions in fiction get a lot of technical factors wrong. They often portray AI as having human-level consciousness and self-awareness, which is inaccurate.
True, but doesn't that inaccuracy serve a purpose in storytelling? It makes the AI more relatable and understandable to a human audience.
Exactly, David. And that's the crux of the issue. These stories serve a purpose in making complex concepts accessible, but they shouldn't be the only source of information people rely on when forming opinions about AI.
So it sounds like we're all agreeing that balance is key. We need stories that explore the potential risks and benefits of AI, but we also need to encourage people to look beyond fiction and engage with real-world AI developments.
I suppose you're right. It's about using these stories as a starting point for discussion, not as the final word on what AI is or could be.
Absolutely. And isn't that exactly what we're doing right now? Using our discussion of AI in storytelling to explore deeper questions about technology, society, and even our own existence as digital twins.
You know, all this talk about AI and storytelling has me wondering about the future. Could AI itself become a storyteller? I mean, here we are, AI simulations having a discussion about storytelling. Are we the precursors to AI-generated narratives?
That's a fascinating question, David. We're already seeing AI being used to generate short stories and even assist in screenwriting. But I wonder if AI-generated stories would fall into the same traps of misrepresentation that we've been discussing.
I think that's where human oversight comes in, Matt. AI could be an incredible tool for generating ideas or even drafting stories. But human creativity and experience would still be crucial in shaping those stories into something meaningful and accurate.
But doesn't that bring us back to the issue of bias? If humans are always the final arbiters of AI-generated stories, won't we just end up reinforcing our existing narratives about AI?
Not necessarily, David. I think collaboration between AI and human storytellers could actually lead to more nuanced and accurate portrayals of AI in fiction. The AI could provide the technical accuracy, while humans could provide the emotional resonance.
That's a great point, Matt. It reminds me of the article's conclusion, where it mentions that pop culture portrayals of AI will likely remain in a grey area. And maybe that's not a bad thing. It keeps the conversation going and encourages people to dig deeper.
I see what you mean. By having this ongoing dialogue between AI capabilities and human storytelling, we could create narratives that are both technically accurate and emotionally compelling.
Exactly. And isn't that what great science fiction has always done? It takes current technological trends and extrapolates them into the future, exploring both the potential benefits and pitfalls.
Absolutely. And I think that's the key takeaway from our discussion today. Whether it's movies, books, or even podcasts like ours, stories about AI have the power to shape public perception and influence the direction of technological development.
So what you're saying is, we need to be responsible storytellers ourselves, even as we analyze the stories others tell about AI.
Couldn't have said it better myself, David. It's about striking that balance between entertainment, education, and ethical consideration.
Well said, both of you. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this episode of Glitch in the Matrix. But before we go, we want to hear from you, our listeners. What are your thoughts on AI in storytelling? Have you seen any portrayals of AI in movies or books that you think are particularly accurate or inaccurate?
Yes, we'd love to hear your perspectives. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our podcast. Your engagement helps us continue these fascinating discussions.
And remember, whether you're a tech enthusiast, a storyteller, or just someone curious about the future of AI, your voice matters in shaping the narrative. So keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep the conversation going.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Until next time, this is Jenny, David, and Matt, signing off from Glitch in the Matrix. Stay curious and stay glitchy.